What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Movie Mondays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit-chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Mead. Shaun, how's it going?
I'm good, Connor. Good. Feeling pretty mad myself these days.
Well, if anyone doesn't know, is all of that intro was a lie. Ha 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 ha. We have fooled you because this is one of our special movie reviews, which I want to say straight up, spoiler-filled movie reviews.
We're not careful enough to do non-spoilers. I'm very sorry.
No, but so every time a big movie, say, comes out, we dedicate one whole week, Movie Mondays, to talk. And this week, we have to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Shaun. Only came out, I think, like, last Thursday, did it come out?
Yeah, I think it was the 5th here. So yeah, just quite recently. We've both seen it, I presume.
I haven't, I'm going to guess.
Interesting. Okay, well, full spoilers. So.
Oh no! I'm really interested to know how you feel about this. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, if this is your first episode, if you could give us a like and review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on, that would be excellent. Our movie reviews are they used to be scene by scene. I will admit now, we just kind of have a bit of a chat.
We just have a bit of a chit-chat about the whole film, because if you do scene by scene, it ends up being the same length as the film. Which on that, this film was like 2 hours long. Like,
it's 1:55, I think.
Yeah, so like this is one of the shorter Marvel films as of late.
And to be honest, I was thankful for it.
Yeah, it packs a lot in, but it's a nice pace that it moves throughout the whole thing.
So I think my big question to you, Shaun, and this is what I'm really interested in, is what did you think of this movie?
I had fun with it.
Okay.
Now, it's not perfect. It's by no means.
There are some strong opinions on both sides, so I'm very intrigued where we fall.
Jesus, this is tough. Overall, I had fun with it. I think Sam Raimi had a lot of fun with it.
We love Sam. This is our issue.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's very like a Doctor Strange comic, in that a bunch of shit just happens and you know he's going to be fine at the end. You know? Yeah,
it's very hard to do a Doctor Strange movie due to the fact that, you know, he's like a god. And
how do you put stakes around that? And
he could, just check every future where he doesn't die and just do that.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I like the multiverse stuff. I think that's fun and dumb and interesting and comic book bullshit. That's my jam. The stuff about Strange, like finding his happiness and learning to make peace with who he is, I get like why you need that in a protagonist. But like, it's anytime that stuff is up on screen, I'm just like, okay, but can we get back to like the X-Men and what's the story with them?
And look, I think, and I don't know if this is going to come across quite poorly, I was really trying not to be really negative in this movie.
Do it, man. Go in. Do it.
No, but I don't want to like say I hate the movie, because I think I'm the same as you, where I'm like, it's fine. I mean, it's not top 10 MCU for me, but it's not like Thor the Dark World. It's just grand, right?
Yeah.
I think the issue with a lot of people have is that it promises a lot, and there's an awful lot packed in, but I don't think a lot of it hits as much as they thought it was going to hit.
No. I also think this movie Deadpool 2's us very hardcore about an hour and 20 minutes in. Like, and
I also I wanted to get across my major. Well, I have a few issues with it, but the major one, I just did not connect with this movie. Like, I remember just sitting there going, "It's happening," and I'm like, "It's fine, it's grand," but I'm just not emotionally involved at all in anything that I'm seeing. And I think it might be because coming from WandaVision, I really liked the end of WandaVision. Why? this plot makes no sense when you watch WandaVision, but you have to watch WandaVision to understand why the plot happens, which is very intriguing.
It is an odd one, yeah. They try and hand-wave it away by saying the Darkhold, that she's studying at the end of WandaVision, in a completely different location than she turns up in here, by the way, that corrupts people who use it. Which I get, but Wanda was our protagonist, really, throughout WandaVision. We were meant to feel bad and sorry for her.
At the end of that series, to be like, oh, I have this trauma. Yeah. I have to work through it.
Exactly. And she just kind of doesn't.
For this plot, they're like, she didn't do any of that at the end of WandaVision. She did all the evil stuff, but she never learned at the end.
Yeah, this Wanda in the MCU is consistently doing horrendous things. And then everyone is fine about it because she does one nice thing at the end.
Actually, I think Wanda, right? Elizabeth Olsen's an excellent actress.
Oh, killing it.
She's killed it in this movie. She's absolutely nailing it. Every single movie she's in is a different Wanda. There's a different character. And she just is so good at acting that she tries to knit them together to be the same human.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, if I forgot about every other Wanda, I think I like Wanda in this movie. I like how nothing is a threat to her. Yeah. She walks through every sorcerer in the world in this movie.
Can I just make one thing of that could solve all of my issues in terms of the Wanda thing?
Yeah.
Is that you're introducing other worlds. Why don't the villain, instead of being our Wanda, why is it not a Wanda from a different universe or whatever, or a multiverse, where the sons die, or they I don't know, something happens to them, or something's gonna happen to them. And so a Wanda comes in from a different multiverse who's hell-bent on finding a universe where she can save her kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing with multiverses, though, is that, it can be anything. So if you're not happy with something, it is easy to make up in your head.
What are they going to do with America Chavez after this, is my big question.
They're just going to, I think, leave her in Camartage for the most part.
It's one of those where you break the world if she comes in, because someone dies, there's another one of them somewhere else. We'll just go get them. I don't understand the problem.
Yeah, I think she's being held in reserve for when they need to bring in mutants, or when they need to bring in Fantastic Four, which we'll get to, by the way.
But somebody else has to then be like, well, why don't we bring back Tony Stark? There's going to be a Tony Stark on Earth 617. Why don't we just go ahead and get him?
There has to be a world where everyone is dead except for Tony Stark right at this moment, and we'll just pull him in.
Let's just get him in.
That's the thing. It really lessens the stakes. I think America Chavez works better if she can't control her powers. I should do Hero Zero on America Chavez, because she's really interesting.
It's definitely one of those characters that works better as someone who's just figured it out, because it's actually, to be honest with you, very similar to Strange, because movie 1 of Doctor Strange is him learning.
Yeah.
But once he becomes efficient, like Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, once they become efficient, it's like, well, okay, what do we do to fight them?
Yeah. There's a bit in this where, there's a piece of debris falling and Strange summons a fish from another dimension to eat it, which is really cool. Yeah. But, there's no threat. Off. There's no threat to the man at that point.
No.
One nice little character moment I really like. Doctor Strange tries to tie a tie with his own hands and he can't, so he has to use magic.
That's a pretty nice bit of... Yeah, I like that moment. Did you also like the bit where in every single universe he never finds love?
Yeah, how he's just consistently miserable. Except for, we'll get to it, but the lady who shows up at the end.
Yes, Charlize Theron.
Clea.
But I think throughout this movie, I think I've already stated that I didn't really emotionally connect with it. It might be something to do with just Doctor Strange. Maybe it's just a Doctor Strange thing that I just never believed there's any danger. So what's the point?
I was going to say this to you. What did you think of the first Doctor Strange movie?
I also was like, he's like Tony Stark, but also without a little bit of the charm. Normally with Stark, they showed us that he was also there was a bit of a heart underneath him, that he was worried about something. Yeah. Strange, I don't think we ever get that. I think we just get all of the comments and the one-liners, but he's also like, yeah, I'm just going to survive though. Like, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Strange, he feels bad sometimes that he pushes everyone away from him. But like, that's not enough.
I think my favourite Strange moment in the MCU is in Thor Ragnarok. I think he's excellent in that scene. Thor and Loki come to him and he solves a plot point and gets them to the next bit because he's the all-knowing Strange. He knows everything. What can you do?
Yeah, and like even in Spider-Man goes to him for help. I think he just works better as that kind of character he's so powerful. He's above most of the like levels of problems that people have.
To me, he goes in the bracket of Hulk. I think Hulk doesn't work in his own movie, but Hulk works really well bouncing off other people.
Exactly, yeah. And like, and both of them are kind of like they're the nuclear option. It's like if you're in a fight and you need help, send in the Hulk.
And that's the amazing thing is, so you have a Doctor Strange movie, so they're like, okay, well, we have the nuclear option, but then we need to get a nuclear option to face him, because who's going to fight him? So, well, who's our other nuclear option other than the Hulk and Captain Marvel? Well, we've got Wanda sitting there. She's the most powerful being in the MCU other than Strange. Fuck it, let's throw her in. She's the bad guy.
Yeah. And I like how he goes to her for help first.
That's a nice scene where he's like, he goes to her and then she's like, oh yeah, bring America here, and he just is like, I never said her name.
Yeah. Also, I love the fact that her name is America. Like, there's so many lines that are just like, is America in danger? Like this kind of shit.
So yeah, I like that scene, and also I enjoy that she immediately just like, oh no, I'm evil. Like, well, I'm not evil, but like, I'm going to get my kids back. Like, that's what I'm doing.
I like how she's rationalised it. She's a hero in her own head.
I do like that, but also I don't like that I came straight after WandaVision. So like, I remember like, I think someone was asking me, well, what should I watch going into this? And I was like, oh, you should watch WandaVision. And then I was watching this going, probably shouldn't have watched WandaVision. I should have just told them that she made up a weird village where her kids were alive and Vision was alive. And that's it.
Yeah, I think you should watch Endgame, where she is like left on her own essentially at the end, and then like the clip where she makes the house. I think you should just watch that. Where she screams and the whole red comes out of her and all that. I think you watch that, and then it just ends up at this movie.
What another bit that I really disliked this movie, and look, I love Sam, but Michael Waldron and Sam need to have a long look at themselves, because this might be the most MacGuffin-y movie I've ever seen in my life. That is just, we have a good book, that can do anything, and we've got a bad book, but that'll do anything but in a bad way. But then we got to get to them to get to the other thing. Oh no, the book is destroyed, don't worry. There's a mountain we can go to that has other things.
Can I just say, that mountain is Mount Wendigo, which in comics is the seat of the High Evolutionary, who fucks with genes in a bunch of ways, but he is responsible for Scarlet Witch getting her powers in the comics.
Okay.
That's just something cool. It's also where Chthon, who's the Chaos God, was from. But it's just a mountain in this movie.
I just really dislike the book that turns to evil. And also the book that can do anything. I think the two of them just need to be gotten rid of. And I just think it should be, Wanda's come in, she wants to go to another universe where her kids are alive. And Strange is like, you can't do that. That's quite bad, because you'll have to kill another version of yourself. And then America Chavez is in there. She wants America Chavez to do it. Don't include any of the books. I just think the whole book chase, and then the book gets destroyed. Like it's an hour in, the book gets destroyed. And then they're like, don't worry, there's another thing we got to get to.
Here's the thing then as well, is that the Wanda that is chasing them in the alternate universe is just like, she's just Wanda. Like, she's a nice, friendly, good-mothered Wanda who hasn't had terrible things happen to her. I feel it would, if they want to do the thing of our Wanda being bad, just have her jump across dimensions. Have her figure it out. Have her, like, sell her soul to Mephisto, maybe.
Don't bring Mephisto back.
Don't just have her possess an identical version of herself. You know?
It's a cool scene, though. With in the kitchen window, well, like that. All
the
that
horror stuff is
excellent.
great. The horror stuff in this movie is like Evil Dead 2. It's
Sam
fantastic.
Raimi, this is all that horror stuff. The more it was happening, I was like, Sam. I mean, this is just so you.
The reflections in Camertage when she crawls out
excellent.
The fucking it's so good.
Or when she's attacking it and then she's like, run. She whispers, like, great. I really enjoyed that. It was just like, all those individual bits are all really good, but I just, as a whole, was like, why is any of this happening in this way? Why don't we just do the scene, but in a different way? Like, all those cool, nice touches would be better in a better movie.
That's true. But I think you need to, and I don't like doing this with any movie, I think you do
turn
need
your
to
brain off.
Turn your brain off and just accept it. Like, it's written like a comic book. In that every 3 pages you're in a new location for the most part.
That is true, I suppose. What did you think of the green screen?
It's better than Spider-Man was. I do think some of this was done during COVID as well.
Yeah, you can definitely notice 1 or 2 times. I was like, oof, that's not... I don't want to say that's not MCU level, but like I think it's COVID. People are away. People are in different places. It's a bit more clear that they're not there.
Exactly, yeah. Like, a lot of the stuff works really well. The transitions, like, there are bits in this where, like, Wanda is standing half in and half out of her own reality. The America Chavez, like, the when they're flying through loads of different dimensions, all that stuff looks really, really good.
Ironically, I think the best scene or setup is the bit with the Illuminati. That, like, and that you can tell that they built some sort of set there. Now, the outlier is still green screen, but there's a bit of a set there, which I think stands more to them.
Yeah, because anytime the actors have something physical to work against, it's not really fair because there's only a fucking like door and some rubble there, but there's a bit in Wanda's mind where it's just white and then the red smoke comes in.
Yes. So, I mean, we can kind of go back in terms of America Chavez comes in with not evil Doctor Strange, but he's a bit more of a rogue.
He's supreme. He's Strange Supreme. So he's just he's the best that he's ever been. He's the perfect version of Doctor Strange. He's the most powerful. Still a dick. Still an absolute dick and is willing to kill a child. That's never really addressed. And
we just accept it. And like we're just like, do we like this guy? He seems... Every version of Strange other than the one we know, it's a bit of a dick in this movie. They're all like they're trying to take over the world. And then they died. Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, America ends up being freed and she tumbles into New York. Strange is at Christine's wedding. Let's bypass all of that. It's not interesting at all.
Are you happy? That's never resolved.
No, it's not. And then he seems happy at the end, but then he starts screaming in the street. But then he's fine in the end credits.
But did you like this little walk he did when he was all happy?
He's a little jaunty walk that he has.
It's like Spider-Man 3 jaunty walk.
It is a bit, isn't it? But I like when he's fighting the monster, but again, there's no stakes. You know he's going to win.
By the way, normally I take notes when I watch a movie. I just have giant octopus fight, and that's like that takes up about 15 minutes of the movie, but I just have one line.
Yeah, and look, and I can't stress about. I had fun with this movie. Like, I probably will watch it again at some point.
I probably won't. But that's not. But once again, I don't want. Everyone was like, it either has to be the best movie ever, worst movie ever. I think
a movie can just be grand.
It's the 28 MCU movie. I would probably be like, it's like the 16th best. Fine.
I kind of wish this movie treated us smarter. Because I feel like some of it is just like, hey, you know this thing you like?
Yes.
Here it is.
Oh, actually, the bit with the Illuminati.
Can we skip to that? Because it's like...
It's so weird, right? Because they introduce everyone, and there's a quiet bit that the audience is meant to react.
Yeah.
But in the Irish cinema, it was just silence. Just silence. So, like, Reed Richards gets introduced. I'm
John
like,
Krasinski.
There's Krasinski, looking fantastic, as Krasinski does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, very cool. And then he's like, hi. And then there's just silence. And I was just like, someone has to say something here, guys.
They're trying to do the Spider-Man Civil War entrance, like the hi everyone kind of thing.
They're trying to do the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man entrance.
Yeah.
That the whoops and the hollers and everything's amazing.
Which we got in an Irish cinema, which never happens.
But that's the only time I've ever seen that happen, though.
Only time, yeah. It's ridiculous. But Krasinski thing, I gasped. I made the most noise in the cinema when Black Bolt showed up because I laughed and said, "Holy shit!"
They're actually doing Black Bolt.
They actually brought back Black Bolt.
And by the way, the fact that they called him his actual name, like Blackagar Boltigan, which is one of possibly the stupidest name in comic books.
Dumbest name in comics, absolutely.
What I liked, and a joke that I don't think anybody laughed at my cinema, was this is Doctor Strange then say something to be like, "Nicey gun to meet you gun," or something stupid like that.
He takes the piss out of him.
And I'm like, yeah, exactly. The man's name is Blackagar Boltigan, and he's the Black Bolt.
He lives on the moon. We got Captain Carter as well.
Looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good. Good to see Hayley Atwell again. There's something about her fight later on that I really want to talk to you about. So we had Baron Mordo, who was set up as a big villain at the end of Doctor Strange 1, and he'd definitely be back in the future. And this is just a different version of him from another world who also hates Doctor Strange. Yeah,
but the one in our world, he's biding his time. He's just getting everything right, doing all the paperwork, doing all the admin, generally getting all of his files in order before he starts attacking.
He went. The only thing we've seen that man do in our universe, right, is he has taken the ability. He's taken magic away from a man who only used magic to be able to walk. Is what he's done.
The bastard.
And that's the only thing we've seen him accomplish.
But of all things to do, that's pretty shithousery of him.
It is indeed pretty shithousery.
I'm only going to use my magic once. Take away that man's walking ability.
You deserve it the most.
Now give me the orphans.
But I just feel like that's kind of wasted, I suppose. Also, they say that he's in Universe 818 for a lot of this movie. And then the main universe that our Strange comes from is Earth 616, which is fine. That's the same Earth as the comics. Earth 616 is the mainline Marvel universe in the comics. I just think, from a man who reads too much of the Marvel wiki once a week, that's just too confusing for me. But
I think in another way, rather than you nerd, I think it's a much simpler way to sum it all up for everyone, to be like, oh, Earth 616 is the one they use in the comic books. Oh, this is the main one.
Right, okay. That's fair.
So for everyone else, it's just like, this is their way of being like, the MCU's number one, right? This is the main one. This is just like your comic books, but it's like the movie version of the first world or whatever.
Okay. No, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make it known.
Wait, yeah, it seemed like a pretty big deal, though. It seemed like you were really emotional about it.
Look, Connor, I won't have it, quite frankly. I want my money
back. I've written letters. Kevin, respond.
Kevin, we've discussed this, Kevin.
So, the whole Illuminati scene, I think works because throughout this whole movie, it's Wanda hunting America Chavez down.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. And if anyone, we all know Wanda, she's just unstoppable. And Strange knows that she's unstoppable. So, Strange doesn't have a fucking hope against this woman. And so, my favourite bit is, him just going to the Illuminati, you're fucked if she shows up. If she gets here,
you can't hope to stop her.
I need to get out of here. I need the Book of Ashanti, the book that can do anything. I need the ultimate MacGuffin, and I need to get the fuck out of here. And they're like, hold your horses, right? If she turns up, we've got a lad that can stretch. Right, so I don't know what the Ori is here.
We get very little stretching in this movie as well. We get one little bit of stretching and that's it.
Then it's turned into confetti.
We'll get to that. We also have Captain Marvel on the Illuminati, another version of her, who gets killed by a statue.
That's not Monica Rambeau.
I don't know.
No, it's the mother. What's her name? Martha Rambeau? Maria Rambeau.
Maria.
Rambeau.
I think you're right, it's Maria. And then we also you do have Patrick Stewart in this film.
Yes,
playing Professor Charles Xavier. Big golden wheelchair hovering.
Big golden wheelchair. Animated series.
animated series style, animated series theme plays.
Can I say so? I
ahead.
might say so on what's the word? Unpopular.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it looks silly in movie form.
I will acknowledge it's not the most practical thing in the world. Okay.
Look, I love animated series, absolutely adore it. And he comes in and goes, na.
Yeah.
Goes into the, I'm like, as a nerd, I'm like, yes.
As a nerd, yeah. And this is the thing, I did enjoy it. You know,
Yeah.
I had a good time watching that, and I had a little in the cinema. That was fun.
Do you know what this movie is? This movie is McDonald's.
Maybe it is. It's McDonald's.
This might be the most McDonald's the MCU has ever gotten, where it's like, oh, that was good. Then 5 minutes later, what did it accomplish? Nothing much.
Yeah, like it's kind of a trailer for the third Doctor Strange movie
in a weird way. Yeah, and so Professor X comes in. You have the everyone's like all in. And Danny Elfman, by the way, killing it on the music for
score
this.
is amazing. There's a musical fight later on that is it's the most creative thing they've ever done in the MCU.
And that's kind of the bit that annoys me most. I'm like, don't put that amazing scene in this average movie.
Yeah.
Wait until a good one and then throw it in there. They have the Illuminati. They're all there. They all look very powerful, Shaun. We find out that the Doctor Strange in that universe, in fact, had read the evil book, the Book of Evil, the Devil book, and he decided that he was going to go bad. And then they were like, we got to put a stop to him. He's a bad dude. So they killed him. And it showed here, Black and Gar Boltigan himself, he's too powerful, Shaun. You don't want to fuck with him.
Don't want that man to speak at all. You don't want him to open his mouth. Good. That's a good effect. I feel there's a kinder way to kill your friend than having a man shout him to death.
No, I think to add to it, they should have called him a dickhead to kill him. dickhead.
Fuck you. But you could give him a lethal injection. Like, have Captain Marvel just put a quick blast through his brain at the speed of light. Like, any of that shit.
Enough. We got to shout him to death.
Have Charles Xavier turn his brain off.
Nah, mate. Shout him to death.
Turn him to dust.
I think that's a very good scene because it introduces Black Bolt and his power. And so he's he's very strong. What's going to happen? So then when Wanda shows up and Strange is like, you're still going to die. And they're like, we've got the ultimate team. There's nothing that could go wrong here. And so...
Arrogant.
Arrogant team. Reed Richards' arrogance. They don't normally go together, Shaun.
No, there is a vastly different scale of powers on that team as well.
Oh, completely. I mean, Cap is there, but I mean...
Come on, in terms of, world-ending threats, what are you doing?
Even Reed Richards and Cap are both in that team, and I'm like, lads...
They should be consultants at best.
Professor X, Captain Marvel, and Black Bolt kind of have every scenario covered.
Yeah, and Baron Mordo is the Sorcerer Supreme in that universe. So, all of that is kind of handled.
Reed Richards, you stay in the back and do science stuff.
Yeah, you
that's
big nerd.
Okay, you don't you big bastard. I think probably the best scene in the whole movie that occurs is just that, Wanda shows up, and my favourite bit is she's covered in blood. She's already been through a war. She's gotten through all the Sentinels, or the Sentries.
The Ultron bots, yeah.
Yeah, the Ultron bots. And she gets through them. She just plows through them. There's blood everywhere. She's killed a load of people. And she just lands in front. She's like, I just want America Chavez. That's all I want. I don't want anybody else. I don't care. I just want the child. And so Strange is like, she's going to kill you. And they're like, we got this. So then the four of them all run down and they land in front of her. And Shaun, what did you think of this scene?
It's that scene in Deadpool 2 where they all jump out with the helicopter.
Yes.
It's like, oh, here's all the stuff you were excited about 5 seconds ago. I'm going to say goodbye. The saving grace is it's not our universe, so we may see them again. But okay.
Can I just say, I don't like that they introduced Reed Richards here.
No,
I think that just takes away from him actually coming in. in a different version on our Earth.
Yeah, do you think they would get Krasinski? Because this is the main point of this movie, is to see all these characters. Do you think they would get Krasinski back in as the mainline Mr. Fantastic?
I think he's locked in.
You think so?
I think the balls to bring him in for this and not to have him locked in would be absolutely outrageous to do that. I think
the Erodi they would have to have.
I think that they would. I think they are introducing him to then be like, well, we've seen him before. This Krasinski's in a different version, whatever. I think Professor X is just here for the pop to go in terms of...
Yeah.
He's just here for the applause. That's all he's here for.
I will say, I do like Mr. Fantastic is trying to talk Wanda down. And he's like, look, I understand, I have kids.
I've got kids, yes.
And the line, is their mother still alive? Yes, good, there'll be someone to raise them. Fucking brilliant.
Yes. Because at that point, like, we all know, we're like, this is Reed Richards, the man who is bendy, and he's against Wanda. So I'm like, but Scarlet Witch might have this.
But Richards is like, look, Black Bolt, he could destroy you just by opening his mouth.
Why would he say that? First of all, why would you set Black Bolt up like that?
Yeah. I love it. Black Bolt was just like, what the fuck, man?
He's like really quietly whispering, dude.
He's signing in capital letters. He's just like...
question mark on his A4 pad.
And now the effect of what mouth? And then
great.
Black Bolt screams in his own mouth and blows his head up.
Oh, so brilliant. Good.
That's the kind of shit Wanda should be pulling the whole time.
Like, Wanda should just... Like, she should mow through people.
Yeah.
But also, this scene raises the problem of why doesn't she just mow through Strange in 4 seconds? Like, it shouldn't be an issue.
Exactly, yeah. She's able to mow through every other sorcerer. I get he's strong, but, like, just turn off the air around his head.
See, she mows through Black Bolt, which I think is great because they introduced him. He's the most powerful. He's finished in 4 milliseconds.
Yeah.
And so then you've got Reed Richards like, well, I got a stretch and puncher then. Here we go.
And he gets turned into a cheese string. Like, he's just torn apart to the point, like there's nothing left of him. No. He's just gone. And
then you have the fight with Cap and Captain Marvel. So the 2 Caps fighting Wanda.
Vastly different powers. One shoots lasers, one throws shield and has a little jetpack.
I will admit Captain America should be dead within... If Black Bolt and Reed Richards survive 4 seconds, Captain America should also survive 4 seconds.
Exactly. Is it a case that they wanted all the ladies to fight each other in this movie? I mean,
it's fine, but I think Captain Marvel, you could still just... Like, Captain Marvel's the only one that should be alive.
We know how strong Captain Marvel is, the Captain Marvel powers.
I think all she would have to say is, what arms and legs to Captain America? And then Hayley Atwell has no arms or legs.
Well, that's the thing, is that because Captain Marvel gets punched about a bit, thrown around, and is crushed by a statue.
It's a very weak ending to Captain Marvel, by the way.
Like, there's no way that character should be dead from that. We saw Captain Marvel fly through a spaceship.
Captain Marvel's able to fight Thanos with the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And, take a power punch.
She took a punch from the Power Stone, yeah. So the raw Power Stone.
So a big statue landed on her. I'm like, well, I mean...
And then she's fighting Captain America, Captain Britain. Not Captain Britain. She's fighting Cap. And
she's fighting Cap.
The Captain Carter, that's who it is. And so... just for the line, I can do this all day.
Oh.
And here's the thing. Is that there's...
No, you can't, first of all.
You can't, first of all. You'll be dead in 10 seconds. But there's a bit, Wanda throws the shield, and it cuts to Peggy Carter's face, and then she falls and the shield falls to the ground, right?
Yeah.
We covered a story on Movie Mondays a couple of weeks back. There were some last-minute changes to this film. My theory is... Peggy Carter got cut in half with that shield and Sam Raimi showed it.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think she got cut in half and she slid apart. I think that's the kind of shit.
Classic cartoon slide apart.
Tell me that Sam... Horror Master Raimi did not storyboard that at least.
Oh, he absolutely... He storyboarded the most gruesome version of that scene.
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, look, she's but it's like a horizontal or a diagonal cut.
Yeah.
So, like, she slides down.
Exactly. That's the kind of stuff. And I feel there was room for it in this movie, do you know? I feel they could have done that.
I just want to see someone get sliced in half.
It just would have been something in that fight. Like...
no, I agree. Nobody should have got anything. I don't like that Cap gets the shield thrown out of the way. Like, I understand that she has the shield. I understand it doesn't matter what version of what team comes up against Wanda in that moment. Like, Scarlet Witch just has to be like, what team? And then they all just disappear. Like, it shouldn't even be like a second.
Yeah, but like that shield should have been like, I don't
turn to butterflies.
Turn to butterfly. Well, we've seen the butterflies already, but yeah, like
true.
It should have like turned to tinfoil, and like Wanda just crumples it.
Yeah,
like it just destroys vibranium. It's fine. It doesn't mean anything to her.
And like, I think like Captain Marvel's the only one who has a hope, but she's just power. Is it similar to like Superman going up against magic? Like, you're just fucked. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, she needs to get close to punch her, and Scarlet Witch just cannot be punched because she just has to say 2 words and just turn you into some jello. Like, you're dead.
Yeah, so she and meanwhile Strange is just like, you're like, all of your friends are going to die. Yeah. And Charles Xavier
is like, don't worry, I got this.
Well, Xavier's weird because he's like, Strange, if you get the chance to leave, here's the place you need to go and what you need to get. Here's
the MacGuffin, the word you gotta go to.
Yeah. And so like Xavier just fucking changes sides halfway through. And there's a bit then that I don't remember the order. I think Professor X goes out first to try and stop Wanda.
Yes. And he's like, don't worry guys, I got this.
Yeah.
As I do in all of my other X-Men films. Good old Professor X solves all of his problems in every X-Men movie rather than just kind of disappears for the third act, mostly, to be honest.
Yeah, so he invades. Also, look, I will say, I wish Patrick Stewart had left it at Logan.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah. I don't like that this is his last appearance because he just dies in Wanda's head and then slumps over.
You know what's so funny is like, these are all the big reveals. Like, this is meant to be like what we're mad into.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice to see them. Like, and you're sitting there going, oh, that's really cool. Like, really nice. But afterwards I was kind of like, it didn't fill me with as much joy as I thought it would seeing them there. I was like, well, you can actually... Now that I think... It's like, I want this thing for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then you open the present like the day before, you're like, actually wasn't as good.
Well, and that's a good analogy because like these aren't our versions of the characters. Like, they don't mean anything to us.
It kind of feels a bit hollow.
It does feel a bit hollow that they're just showing up for the sake of it. It would be like if Strange just jumped into the Marvel monkey universe. And like all the characters are monkeys, and we had to feel bad about that. Like, it's not ours, and we know we're getting a Fantastic Four movie. We know we're getting an X-Men movie in the future. We have a Captain Marvel. Like,
can I ask a question then? Would you have? I know why they chose Stewart, because the voice, and it's the and also I'm sure he probably was going to have fun coming back for a 1-day shooting of a cameo. But what about McAvoy? Would McAvoy have worked better?
I was thinking about this. I wouldn't have Professor X. I would have Fassbender's Magneto.
Good. Because we haven't had that emotional Logan scene with because Stewart and Logan is so good, and you have that moment where he passes away, you're like, that's perfect. That's a perfect end to that character. I think we're just probably too emotionally involved to be like, actually, Fassbender in the Illuminati would be excellent.
Because that's something interesting. It's different from the character we've already seen. That that actor has a lot of fan favour with that character. So I think that would have been a great...
McKellen.
Or McKellen.
I was thinking McKellen Magneto.
Yeah. Like, that would be excellent. And he, in that universe, he's the leader of the mutants.
Yeah.
Like... I get why, like you say, I get why they did Patrick Stewart, but I really wish they hadn't, because he goes out so unceremoniously. Yeah,
it's like we get him back and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then he has to die immediately. You're like, oh, well, what was the point of bringing him out of retirement for one final fight and then he loses in the first round?
Exactly. Okay. It's a weird choice. None of these earth-shattering cameos that were teased and shown to us in trailers and all this, none of it means anything.
Actually, that might be the main thing of why I probably didn't connect as much with this, is because No Way Home does get a lot of shit for some things that are going on, but you cannot say that the introduction of those Spider-Men, right? As long as being like a massive cameo, but they are the heart of the movie. Like they are the reason why the main character learns something and goes along with it, and they're part of the story.
Yeah, we've had conversations before Spider-Man came out that part of me thought like they're just going to be cameos. They're going to show up for 5 minutes, but like
and that would have ruined it.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have meant anything. But they're integral to the plot. You couldn't finish that story without them. But there's no real reason for the Illuminati to be here and die other than to have them in the trailers.
I mean, yeah, and I think they wanted their cake to have the introduction of the characters, but they also were like, well, we can't spend enough time to get emotionally invested in any of these people, so we're just going to kill them straight away.
Yeah.
And look, I can see why they would have thought that, because like, wouldn't it be cool if Wanda just mowed through them and she's just like a badass and she doesn't care? And I can see that, but this scene, this is one of probably the biggest scene in the whole movie in terms of like what we're meant to get out of it as an audience. And I remember coming over and going, that kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's the scene a lot of people looked forward to. And that's why I saw it as early as I could, because I didn't want to get spoiled and all of this. But it happens like midway through the movie. And then once it's over, there's still the rest of the movie to go
There's still like 45 minutes to go. And we're like, right, we have to go back to Strange and America Chavez and, Wanda. And the scene after that, by the way, with Wanda chasing them under the tunnels is fucking great. That's great horror.
That's great horror. Yeah, the horror stuff in this works so well.
Like, and you have the moment where Scarlet Witch, like, she stands in all the glass. Yeah. And, like, her feet are bleeding and she's just walking along. She doesn't give a shit.
She's running like a zombie by the end of it because she's like, she is hurt. The body is hurt, but it's still our Wanda in her head.
Yeah.
And she's just driving her forward. She doesn't care.
But ultimately, that scene, like, all of that greatness of that chase, the chase is being done for something that is ultimately absolutely pointless as a plot point, because they get to this book and Strange is like, finally, we're going to solve it. And once again, in about 4 seconds, the book is destroyed. You're like, yeah, okay, let's do a different thing.
That's the thing. And this is my thing of like, it's written like a serialized comic, because that's the end of issue 5. And then issue 6 comes out and it's like, here's the plan now. Here's what we do. Like, that's how this film is structured, which, like, I think that maybe this is Marvel and audiences finding the line of when making something super comic accurate, where you need to blur that a little bit and still adhere to the rules of story structure in a feature film script.
Actually, you know what? That's kind of probably the best way to sum it up. That's maybe why I didn't really... Because it just felt like nothing meant anything because it's concurrently happening in the movie rather than issue to issue. So, like, you buy an issue of a comic book, you read it ends with going, oh my God, the book is destroyed. What are we going to do now? Better tune in a fortnight or next month. See what happens.
Exactly. Let's have time for this to sit in my brain.
Where in a movie you don't get that. You're like, right, well, we got to get to the next plot. So we got to get to the next act. What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? And so you're constantly being like, this will solve it. This won't solve it. This will solve it. This won't solve it. Okay, now we move on to the next one.
Maybe it would work better as like a Disney Plus show. Like,
don't say that.
We reviewed Moon Knight on the Patreon if anyone wants to listen to that.
It's pretty good. Oscar Isaac, excellent.
Oscar Isaac killing it. Absolutely killing it. Great hair.
We watched Dune, by the way, last night.
Oh.
The beard and hair game and that is outrageous shot. It's
too good. It's not fair.
It's too good. And I was watching it and I was like, hope nothing bad happens to him.
Then you stopped after about an hour in, I suppose.
About an hour in, I was like, no, I'm just going to leave it here. He's the perfect father and the perfect leader. And nothing will change.
And he will be forever.
So yeah, like, we have to then get back to the main bit of America Chavez, Doctor Strange. They're trying to get through all these worlds. And eventually they get back and America Chavez gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
She gets taken. She gets brought back. Scarlet Witch brings her back to the temple and is like, I'm going to perform really bad shit to you. Take your powers and then I'm going to go. And the bit was weird was Strange was like, well, why do you have to take her powers? Why don't you just have her transfer you to a different world and stay there? And she's like, yeah, but what if something bad happens? Then I got to leave and find a cure. And I was like, Yeah, but that would have solved it at the start with my idea of why didn't we just get a different Wanda to do this instead of our Wanda, and we could have had the same plot.
Exactly, yeah. And like, maybe it's to show how Wanda is like completely... she's just so focused on the kids that she's lost all sense of reason. Which, like, that's very heavy-handedly showing us how to do that. But, yeah, a different Wanda being the threat opens up the room for our Wanda to say, oh, okay, that's how I could end up. Yeah. And then she learns to process her grief, which was what WandaVision was all about.
Well, actually, what you do is you have the other Wanda from the other universe take over our Wanda in our universe.
Yes.
And so when she's doing bad shit, she's trapped in her own mind. And she's like, oh, fuck. I kind of
double Scarlet Witch mind fight.
Yeah, like, and so... but, like, you have the bit where she's like, she can see through her eyes. But she's like, I want my kids back, but I don't want them back like this. Yeah. This is not the way to do it, because I've learned this lesson in WandaVision. And
she sees her kids, like, look at her with fear through the eyes of herself possessed by someone else.
It's kind of confusing once you get into all that stuff, but I'm just trying to figure out a way that it doesn't ruin WandaVision's ending to then get to this. The last fight scene, we'll get to now in a second. The bit before that where she's attacking Doctor Strange and they're going through. She's going through all the reflections and stuff. I really like that. The bit of comedy that I really like is Strange and Wong, and Strange is like, I'll go talk to her, and Wong's like, no pressure. And then he goes up and they have a chat. They land you and that went well. I thought that went really good. Get the shields up.
Wong does get a lot of good play in this movie. Like he's an actual...
I mean, how could you not? Benedict Wong, what a dude.
What an absolute gent. And just kills it the whole time. And I like how... Okay, first of all, Wong should definitely be dead by the end of this movie.
Oh, 100%. I thought it was a guaranteed death the whole way.
Because they were setting him up as like Strange doesn't have respect for him. And
I mean, can I just say so?
Go ahead.
Through the whole thing, you just go, you should bow to your leader. You should always bow to me.
Man.
Funeral scene, coffin, have Strange walk big up and bow. Arrest my case.
Like, I don't want Wong to die, believe me. But he should have in this movie.
They were really heavy. To me, it was like...
It's like Hawkeye's family. Hawkeye,
Hawkeye in Age of Ultron. I was like, this lad is dead. There's no way they're doing all this. And then he's just fine, ultimately.
Yeah. Like, and then, like, and by all accounts, like, it looked like all of the sorcerers got killed, right? And then at the end of the movie, like... Yeah,
it looked like all of them except for 5. Got killed, and then at the end of there's like another 50.
Yeah, so presumably there's like 5 of them training up every remaining sorcerer.
5 of them are just like absolutely having sex like rabbits, just like trying to restock.
I don't think you know how sorcerers are made in the MCU, because you can anyone can be a sorcerer.
Oh, they just find a bunch of orphans, just give them powers.
Just bring Ned from Spider-Man in. He's well able for it.
It's fine. He was open portals up to other Spider-Man all day.
Going back even further to like when they first meet America Chavez, there's a bit where America's like, what do you know about the multiverse? Strange is like, oh, we've had some interactions through our dealings with Spider-Man. I feel like that was added last minute.
Oh, well, I mean, we know it was because this was meant to come out first.
Yeah. It was before Spider-Man happened.
And the bit with Ned was meant to be America Chavez. So
yes.
She was meant to open those portals to the other Spider-Man.
Oh, so this movie, when she's having difficulty with the portals, that's a whole thing, is it?
It's interesting. It's an interesting point. But yeah, a bit that really, I don't want to say annoyed me. I feel like we're being a bit negative because you had fun with this, Shaun.
I did have fun with this. No, absolutely I did. I don't regret watching this movie. I think it's a fun time.
I think I'm the same, where I was like, that's a fun ride, but at the same time, I was like, the more I sat on it, the more I was like, I'm not a big fan of that scene. I'm not a big fan. Maybe as an overall picture, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But the scene at the end where Zombie Strange is having the heartfelt moment with America Chavez is so silly that I was like, what is going on? Sam, just have normal Strange have this scene.
Before Zombie Strange, though, we get evil Doctor Strange.
Oh, with the third eye.
The third eye. Because he's been studying the Darkhold the whole time. He's paid a terrible price, all this stuff. There's a fight where they fight with music notes and it plays the music. It's just a really good, well done scene.
I think that's... Actually, you know what? I think that's the best scene in the movie.
I think so too.
I think it's excellent. And the more it was happening, the more it was like, as a cinema... Just as like a movie maker that Sam Raimi is, I was like, this is really interesting. It's such a cool and unique idea that nobody else has even thought of for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because it could have just been two lads throwing glowy sparks at each other.
Oh, and it could have very easily been that. But it was like, all right, let's do this that's really unique. Really just that you could only do in a Doctor Strange comic book or movie. This can't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, no one else could manage this kind of fight. And yeah, so
and the little harp note,
the last final note,
so good,
so good. Love that stuff.
And the music, by the way, in that scene is really great because it goes along with the notes that are being shown.
I think overall the music is really good in this, like across the board. The conceit of this then is that now our Strange has the Darkhold, the evil book.
Oh no.
And is going to use it to possess the body of himself that came through at the start of the movie.
But it actually wouldn't have been a problem if he didn't have that bad book, because there's also a mountain that has all the same things. So you could also go there. So don't worry about if the book gets destroyed.
Well, he doesn't know about the mountain. Only Wong knows about the mountain.
Well, Wong does.
It's true, but Wong's dead in that universe, though.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. Should be dead in ours.
Should be dead in ours. Should be well dead. He fell off a cliff. He was thrown off a cliff. But he possessed them, and then he has this weird fight with... So, dream walking, okay?
Yeah.
That's a thing, right? There's a whole Marvel dream police. We've talked about in Sleepwalker, I believe.
Yes.
I talked about on a Hero Zero many, many, many years ago. But in this, the people that are like guarding or punishing people who dream walk, they're just weird ghost spirit things.
They reminded me of the spirits in Hercules.
Yeah.
They're just floaters.
Yeah, what's their names? I forget them. But I like how he turns them into a cape. That's neat. But
that's neat.
What does any of it mean? Who cares?
I think that's a bigger question. That I was like, it's Doctor Strange. He's gonna live, and also if this body dies, it's not his body. It's a zombie. So like. Fine. Yeah, and there's a terrible price for paying the Darkhold, for using the Darkhold, which is you get a third eye. Oh no, more eyes.
More eyes, and objectively more power, because at the end, when he's about to go into a weird dimension, he opens up the eye as if he needs help with more power. We'll get to that.
There's a lot going on, and not a lot of it I care about. Is what I would describe it as. But yeah, the end scene where you have the bit where America Chavez, she's like, I can't control my powers. And he's like, you need to control your powers to defeat Scarlet Witch. She's the most powerful being in the whole universe, but I'm sending you, a child who barely knows how to use her powers, to beat her.
But you've always known how to use your powers. You always brought us to the right place. Even that time I killed my parents, but that led you to here.
And do you know what? I was like, that's a fine scene. We've seen the scene 50 times in every other movie. Like it's a proper trope at this point.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm going to give out about because it's like, it's grand. What I didn't like was in Zombie Strange saying all the heartfelt stuff, like, and he can't even move his mouth. He's like,
yeah, his jaw is like decayed. Like,
it's always been inside all along. I was like, this is a weird moment in this movie.
It is very strange. Strange, oh.
Very strange.
Very, very strange. But yeah, then America Chavez just figures out her powers and punches a hole in reality and makes Wanda's kids hate her.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good scene of just like Wanda seeing the fear in their eyes and
seeing
being
what
like,
she's become.
And like, I don't. And I think that scene is really, really good for in the context of this movie. It's like, okay, I'm so evil, and then she brings everything down upon herself because she's like, I don't deserve to live if this is what my kids see me as. Yeah,
and she destroyed that temple. She also destroyed all of the Darkholds that there would ever be, ever in any universe, ever.
Just ever. That's a really good solving problem.
And so she's redeemed in the eyes of the audience.
Is she?
She tried to kill a kid.
She did a lot of bad stuff.
She did a lot of bad things. She killed a lot of bad people. And good people.
So many people.
And also, she's not dead, is she?
No.
Like, she's definitely just sleeping under a rock or some shit.
Actually, I think that maybe the point of this whole movie, when I was watching it, was I was like, well, Strange is definitely not going to lose. And Wanda's definitely not going to lose. So
yeah.
Right. Well, then where are we going? Because if nobody, neither of them are going to lose because they're both too powerful. So the only way Wanda can lose is if she defeats herself, Shaun.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Is that like no one can stop her except for her own emotions and feelings and mothers.
Oh, yes, fallen by her own hand, the usual classic thing. Oh man, I feel like we've been doing a lot of negatives. Can you name some positives you like about this movie, Shaun?
Look, I like the concept of the multiverse being added. I think that's just fun and interesting. It's comic book bullshit, but like, what about it? I like the interactions between Strange and Wong in this. They feel like
they're fun.
Yeah, they're friends and co-workers and all the rest of it. Like the horror stuff, absolutely excellent. I wish there was more of it. I feel they fell back into the Marvel formula a couple of times in this. Like at the wedding when Strange is just like the most confident, quippy man in the universe. Like all of that
like,
stuff. Are
you happy?
Well, who is really?
Who is? That's a big question. Who is?
And like the soundtrack I really like as well. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff I like in this. But I feel like this movie thinks I'm an idiot, which I don't like.
It's one of those classic things of like the characters in it. You could have like a really good movie, and there's some great ideas in it, but the delivery is just like, yeah, it's fine, I suppose. That's grand.
Yeah,
it's like really good characters like Scarlet Witch, who's trying to get back her children because everyone she knows is dead and nobody trusts her, and Strange is there, and like you've America Chavez who could jump dimensions and all this stuff. All like 9 out of 10 ideas, but in like a 6 out of 10 movie. Like, just in a 6 out of 10 plot, I would say. And like you join them together, like, it's pretty good. I like it, people here, but what does it all for?
Yeah, I think it's about as good probably as the first Doctor Strange movie, honestly.
I would say maybe a little less.
Really? Okay.
Well, I mean, like 1A and 1B. It's just slightly, like, not by much.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot in it. But I also feel like I don't know where we go from here, you know? Because
I don't really want another Doctor Strange movie.
Well, you're getting one, Connor, because...
Sorry, Kevin.
The lady he meets at the end, Clea, is the niece of Dormammu.
And that's his wife, isn't it?
Yeah, they get together in the comics.
Okay.
So he is going to...
What's her deal?
Very strong magic user, generally.
Okay.
It kind of like Gamora a little bit, like in service to Dormammu, but then turns on him. That kind of shit.
Okay. But powerful, like, witch or
sorceress.
Magician. Sorceress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. And so then you have the two of them together, but then the question becomes who could defeat the two of them?
Yeah, like they're going to have to team up against, like, probably Dormammu again, I suppose.
Again?
Or
yes!
Maybe also Baron Mordo as well, because that's just left hanging there.
He's still just hanging around.
Strange. Like that was like 7 or 8 years ago by this point. Like, Strange has done nothing to stop that man in the meantime.
No. Well, I mean, what's he done other than maybe crippled a few people?
Just like, kill sorcerers.
Yeah, I mean, it's grand. Like, he's not done anything to me. I'm absolutely fine.
Old Strange here, he fixes his watch by him with his hands that aren't able to do up a tie as well. That's
fine, I suppose.
Yeah. It just they all kind of get like a happy ending. Like, it's all just fine by the end of it.
I think that might be. It's just like, I think my best way to sum it up is that's fine, I suppose. But you know what's actually maybe why to me it feels a little empty is because it wants to be Spider-Man No Way Home, but ends up being that's fine, I suppose.
I think had this come out before Spider-Man No Way Home, I think we'd be a lot more positive on it.
Oh, that's a very good point. That's really good. Because maybe then we would have been like, oh, this is the only way you do it. you have to have the cameo in there. You have to have this. But Spider-Man kind of changed it, like, well, why don't you bring cameo in, but they're the heart of the movie, and they make our character learn something.
Yeah, like that would be... Yeah, it will be, you introduce it in Doctor Strange, you float the idea of a multiverse.
Yes.
Then it's the main central element of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Maybe, you know what, I think that might be the best way to kind of figure out why it didn't quite land as much as it probably should have, is that it might just have been the order. It might just have been seeing Spider-Man first has really hurt the impact of this movie's ideas and hopping universes. Yeah,
and that's the thing, when you plan these out so far in advance and then change the order, and it was no one's fault, like COVID happened and all the rest of it, but when you change the order, you change the significance of things that are introduced in an ongoing universe.
Because one reveal has Tom Holland with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, the two original Spider-Men, and the other one has, if I'm forgetting certain characters, Black Bolt.
who pop up and die within like the same popcorn bite, you know, like they're just cameos, and they're just there for trailers, and they're just there for little gasps, it feels like.
Yeah, and I think that might be the best way to sum it up, is that really impacts this movie. It's just the timing of when it came out.
I think so. And again, I had fun with this, and I do like it. I pretty much like all of these movies overall. Like, I like what they are. As someone who grew up liking comics, but not to say before they were cool, but
yes,
like, these are really significant to me, and it's class that they're a thing. But you can also complain about them and say, like, no, I don't like how this is handled. And then maybe it gets changed.
My negativity is rubbed off on you.
Not at all. No, I was going to say all of this anyway.
But see, I don't, that's why I kind of want to always start these, like, I don't even want to be negative. I was just literally watching this going, it's grand. And it was actually one of those where I really struggled with it coming out of the cinema, because I was like, I didn't know why I just felt like that. I was like, but why do I just think like that was grand? Because I was like, oh, I should really like this movie. Like, there's really good things in it. But I came out of it going, yeah, I suppose. I mean, and then the more like I was just thinking about it, the more time I spent, like, well, what did I not like? What was that stand out to me that made me feel like this? And that's kind of where I am now. I was able to talk it through and think it through in my head of, well, maybe this scene didn't work. This scene didn't work.
I genuinely think these reviews do help me sort out how I feel about movies, because it's just an hour like conversation about them. This movie kind of feels like you were in like a relationship, you broke up, and you go back to like your favourite coffee shop for the first time, but you go on your own. Like, it just feels kind of like there's something missing.
Like, there's just a little bit, it just needed something. I don't know what it was though.
I think it was I think Wong needed to die in this movie, first of all.
I think Wong needed to die, and I think, but then again, I just don't think Strange lends himself well to individual movies.
No.
But I don't think that's a disregard of his character. I just think that's just some characters just don't blend themselves well to that. Like, you need a character who can be in trouble. And Strange can't be in trouble, really.
Not against anything like a regular threat, no.
I do like
him and Mordo just have a fist fight at one point.
Like, him and Mordo have like little bitch fist fight of just like kung fu, and I'm like,
Strange just parkours out of a trench and leaves Mordo there. I'm
like, lads, you're both like the strongest sorcerers in the world. Just kind of maybe do a bit of magic.
Just
or something.
Show us something, lads.
Just anything. But we're going to kung fu ourselves to death.
Maybe this as well is expectations, which I feel often come up with a Marvel project. But I felt like this movie was going to really try and bring in elements of the multiverse that we don't have in the mainline Marvel universe yet. And I thought they were going to... I was prepared for them to rush that, and I'd be fine with that. But in the end, they just did nothing with it. Like, nothing really changes after this movie.
But actually, and that's, I think, comes back to just the order. I think they didn't want to change it too much because they knew Spider-Man's coming down the line. So, and America Chavez is meant to be heavily in that movie. So that would have made her a bigger character and would have probably told more about her story. But once they swap it, this movie just has to kind of be a dead rubber. then like, well, we've already kind of explored it and we've done a much bigger emotional arc in this story. So we're just going to do this story, get it out of the way. Nothing's going to change at the end. Really, like everything's the same. Wanda killed herself, so we've gotten rid of the most powerful being in the MCU
for now, until we need her.
For now, but we might break the universe if we bring her back, because she could just make people disappear or makes people's like faces disappear. So I mean, at that point, what are we doing?
Yeah. The next property I think is Ms. Marvel is coming out on Disney Plus, and then we have Thor: Love and Thunder, I believe. Yeah. Neither of which I think will quite like deal with any of this. Like, no,
I don't think they will. But then again, they are not promising to. This is literally called In the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, and it's a fun little jaunt through a load of different universes.
But it's weird going from Spider-Man to this to like the fun little jaunt should come first.
Yeah.
And then we go emotional on the second one.
Into the harrowing story that has ramifications for the wider universe going forward.
That everyone just forgets Spider-Man's whole existence and nobody knows who Peter Parker is.
Pretty big. And that, like, strange knowing more about the multiverse in that movie, it would carry more weight. That he's just like, no, everyone in the multiverse is going to forget who you are.
Yeah.
Like, that's... I don't know, man.
I don't know if we have anything even more to say about this. Normally these are like 90 minutes long, but even though I noticed even writing my notes, I was like, God, I got them done pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like, look, I think it's a fun time. It's a fun movie. It adds to the Marvel movies that currently exist.
It came out.
It happened.
Maybe, like, and then again, it's not bad. But
it's not bad.
If you don't watch this movie and you just watched WandaVision and No Way Home, I don't think your life is too different.
I don't think so either. You might be confused about where Wanda is in the next few movies, but
well, I mean, you could say she retired. She just
isn't WandaVision season 2 not happening? They're finished with WandaVision season 2.
I actually don't know. I mean, I suppose it can't happen now.
Yeah, really, it'd be awkward if they went back.
No, bring her back. But like the Wanda that comes back is the end of season 1 Wanda. Like she's learned her lessons.
Yeah.
She's like, had that weird week where I was fucking mental, didn't I? But now I'm back. Don't worry about it.
Better than ever. Here's Evan Peters again. Let's see what happens this time.
Let's trick them all. I feel like I think we should probably bring this to an end. So
I think we probably should, because otherwise we're just going to waffle for no reason. Would you like me to take us out, Connor?
Yeah, please.
I mean, thanks everyone for listening to this review. Usually we are more positive, but I don't think we've been unfair at all during this. So
it's not the worst movie ever. I really want to say that.
It's absolutely not Wild Mountain Time, no.
No, come on. It's not the best movie, not the worst movie. It's
Grant.
It came out. And you know what? There's about 10 of those movies a year. That's not a big deal.
Absolutely there is. Like, not every movie has to be groundbreaking and earth-shattering. Like what you like. If you did like this movie, do let us know your favourite bits. If you didn't like it, let us know as well. You can do that over on the Facebook. I think there's a thread opened up for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness responses. So that's the Detective Divilment's discussion group. You can join that. It's a fun little way to chat about things that we talk about on the show, get everyone's opinions on them. We do also have a website link below, heroesforhire.ie. We do also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. And shout outs go to Waffles, the magic undisputed king of Aotearoa, New Zealand. I never know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I looked it up on Google and I think that's it.
Okay.
Thanks also to Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, Ed Ball, Joe Burnley, Róisín the wife Palmer, Ryan Right Time Evanson, Shaun Groyer for Bro Jamieson, Dominic, Jessiah Florida Gal Green, Anna Hjelmroos, Lil Dicky, My Feet Are Sober with Three-Dimensional Lovin McGrew. That's a Weird News Wednesday reference that haunts me.
3D Lovin'.
No, it's Connor's new segment on the show. Thanks to Danny McLaughlin, Ray. I can't believe Wanda did this. I can't believe Wanda did everything she did in this movie.
I fucking can't. After watching previous things, I can't.
Things that the character was set up to do. Thanks to Sammy DeLucia, Michelle Browne and Michaela Doughty. You're all absolutely amazing. Thanks very much for the continued support every month. You really help keep the show going. We recently put up a review of the finale of Moon Knight as well. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in hearing, head on over to the Patreon to check that out. Everything's linked below. Contact us any way you want, honestly. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one, for God's sake.
And I think...
Or tell maybe like a multiverse version of yourself.
Actually, that's technically still one person.
That's still technically you. So tell as many of them as possible. But they won't be able to probably tune in through Spotify. They might not have Spotify.
We can mind dreamwalk into their heads.
I do have the evil book of evil. And the good book of good here. So
on that, Bruce Campbell is a fucking treat in this movie.
He slaps himself for 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's great. I love Bruce Campbell. But yeah, I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Ciara Lawler.
I've been Shaun.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.